Good day everyone. So now we are going to create a 2D model using Solidworks. So first, double click the part. Next, click the sketch button in order for us to change the type of plane to use. And now we are going to choose front plane. This would be the model that we are going to make. Next, we are going to click this line button in order for us to create a construction line. This construction line will help us to make a circle figure easier. Next, click the circle button. We are going to create 2 circles and 1 arc for construction. So, the center of the circle would be the intersection of the 2 construction lines. Since the figures are underdefined, we are going to check or to modify its dimension using the smart dimension. The smallest circle would have a diameter of 46. The second circle would have a diameter of 80, while the biggest circle would have 130 as its diameter. Next, click the rectangle button and we are going to create a rectangle where the 2 sides of it would touch the second circle. So to fix this figure, first let's create a line from the center of the circle. This line must intersect with the midpoint as the width of the rectangle. Through this, the figure will be having its own relation with the line and it will be perfect. Now we can trim all unnecessary figures and lines. Next, we are going to modify the width of the rectangle and it must be 6. According to our model, we are going to create another 7 of the remaining figures from the rectangle. So to start creating the 7 other figures, click the drop-down button between the linear sketch pattern. That would be the circular pattern. So first, click our center, which would be the point 1, and change the number of the figure into 7 and click all the entities to pattern. We'll now move on to other figures. So next would be the small circle on the left side. Let's create a construction line from the center of the circles and another cross-like construction lines for the small circle. Okay, next we are going to measure the distance between the intersection of the cross and the endpoint of the third line. It must have a dimension of 18. Since we have finished creating the construction lines or the center line of the circle, we can now move on with creating of the circle. So we are going again to create 2 circles and another one for construction. Okay, now after creating the 2 circles, we're going to measure the dimension. The smallest circle will have a dimension of 16, will have a diameter of 16, and the big circle will have a diameter of 52. And the construction circle will have a dimension of 34. Create a diagonal line with an angle of 45 degrees away from the horizontal line. So to modify the angle of this figure, click the horizontal line and the diagonal line and type 45. Now we're going to create a small circle through the diagonal line and the construction lines or the construction circle. So the intersection of the two would be the center of the circle. This circle must have a diameter of 8. We're going to fix this circle by creating a relation where the construction circle, the diagonal line, and the center of the circle will serve as the midpoint of the figure. So next, we're going to create another circular sketch pattern. The center of the circular pattern would be the point 53, 4 copies of the circle, where the circle is the entity to pattern. To fully define the last circular pattern, we are going to select a relation which is equal. We'll now move on with the remaining figure of the model, which is composed of arcs. So first, click the 3-point arc button, and this arc will connect the two circles. We may now also start creating the next arc, which is concentric with the first arc. And now we are going to add relation with this arc and to avoid movement of this arc. So click the arc in the first circle, and the relation would be tangent. Next, tangent again this arc with this other circle. Through smart dimensioning, we must modify it with a radius of 180. Next, at the end of this arc, we're going to create another arcs with a different radius. So to put dimension of this figure, this arc must have a radius of 12. So the arc with a radius of 12 must be tangent with a circle beside it and the arc where it is connected with. While this one must have a radius of 10. Also, the arc with a radius of 10 will be tangent with a circle beside it and the arc where it is also connected with. So through this, we can ensure that the figures are still connected with the other even if we move it. Also, they must have a distance of 20. So next figure. Now we're going to create a series of lines which are tangent on both circles. Let's start with a horizontal line that is tangent with a big circle and has a length of 78. Next, we are going to create a diagonal line that has an x value of 37 and will be connected on the other circle through a new horizontal line. According to the model, the end of the second and third line will be in arc shape. And we are going to use the fillet command to do this. Click the fillet button, then click the two lines that you wanted to edit out. After that, it will automatically shows the example or the result. Then change the fillet parameters with 20. Now move to the next fillet and change the parameters to 12. Let's now move with the next arc. Click the 3-point arc, then click the circle, the line was connected with it. After that, modify its dimension and it must be in a radius of. After that, we're going to first add a relation with arcs. The arcs must be tangent with the horizontal line. Also, the first arc will be tangent on the circle. For the last figure, create a line that is parallel with the diagonal line from the last activity that we've done. After that, identify the dimension between the two parallel lines, and it must be 20. Next, add an additional horizontal line which will connect the diagonal line through the two circles. Create another 3-point arc that is connected with this horizontal line and this circle. Make sure that this arc is tangent with the circle and the horizontal line. Next, the diagonal line and the horizontal line will be having a rounded corner, and we will use the fillet command. It must have a radius of 8. We'll now proceed with defining of new figures. Ensure that the arcs and the fillet are tangent with the other figure that it was connected with. We'll now also modify its dimension, which is 20. We'll now also use the fillet command for this corner, and its radius must be 14. After that, I'm going to create another arc, which is a 3-point arc that connects the horizontal line and the circle. Modifying it must have a radius of 5. That's all, thank you.